Imagine being 17 years old and facing a life sentence. That's exactly what happened to Joe Jelly Roll Hernandez, and his story sheds light on one of the most controversial aspects of our justice system. Picture this. It's a regular day in the neighborhood until gunshots ring out. Joe's there, but he's not the shooter. He's just a kid, caught up in the wrong crowd at the wrong time. But that association would cost him everything. You see, there's this thing called gang enhancement laws. They're supposed to crack down on gang violence, but sometimes they cast a net so wide that they catch people like Joe. These laws can turn a regular sentence into a life sentence, simply because of who you know or where you're from. The evidence against Joe? It was shaky at best. But here's the kicker. His alleged gang ties were enough to override that weakness. Think about that for a moment. Not the evidence of the crime itself, but who they thought he hung out with became the deciding factor in sending a teenager away for life. But the story gets even more troubling. The main witness against Joe, his co-defendant, later came forward and said their testimony wasn't true. They recanted the whole thing. Yet Joe remained behind bars. This isn't just about one young man's fate. It's about how our justice system sometimes works against the very principles it's meant to uphold. When we allow gang affiliations to overshadow actual evidence, when we're willing to lock up teenagers for life based on associations rather than actions, we have to ask ourselves, is this really justice? Joe's story forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about prejudice, about the power of labels, and about how quick we are to throw away young lives. Maybe it's time we take a harder look at these enhancement laws and ask ourselves if they're really making our communities safer, or if they're just creating more victims of a different kind.